Gold, 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 they just gotta have that gold. Gold, gold, they'll do anything for gold.
Welcome to Searching for Truth and Treasure in Alabama with Alabama historian, videographer, and speaker Jim Phillips. Jim has spent the last 40 years exploring and finding amazing artifacts on lesser-known sites in the state. He's here with us to discuss the how and where you can legally explore old, privately owned sites and find those amazing treasures from the state's past. Plus, he's going to tell you a story or two about hard-to-believe events he's encountered as he's toured the state. So let's get into it. Here's Jim Phillips. All right, welcome in, everybody. We are back for another earth-shattering podcast with Jim Phillips. Be sure to visit jimphillipsalabama.com to find out everything going on. Jim, how you doing today?
Doing fine, Philip. That sounded
I don't believe you. I do not believe you.
Doing fine. I just told Philip, I was listening to my podcast, laid down with our big Rottweiler on the bed. I said, just kind of double check some things and fell asleep. I said, my podcast put me to sleep.
Well, hopefully he doesn't put our listeners to sleep. Look, we got a lot of people listening, so they're liking what you're doing. So what are we going to talk about today?
Well, I said one of the first ones we did, which does put me to sleep. It's called A Phrase and Coins, and you thought it was just going hog wild.
Yeah.
We ain't going viral, people. And we were doing a podcast, you got to hear it. Well, I'm critiquing these podcasts where the guy says, died, went to heaven, and Jesus said what the best religion was. Look at the catch-alls. Look at the catch-alls, the titles. 2 million viewers in like a week,
Yeah.
right? And
Not our podcast.
our
else's.
podcast, they get up a couple of 300 or something like that.
Yep.
I'm not going to lie about things to get viewers.
Yeah.
I do want you, though, this is important. We've done a podcast called Dangers, and I do talk about 3 unexplainable events that happened before I talk about the dangers of metal detecting and digging bottles, which is the treasure hunting. Number 2405. Go back and listen to that. Dangers. Listen to amazing things that have happened to me. That's all true, 100% true. I do a fun one called Alien or Angel at Walmart. That's number 2411. Something mysterious happened to me coming out in the parking lot. I thought it was cute as can be. Was she an angel? I don't know, but it was cute. Toward the end, I talk about lifting weights with Arnold Schwarzenegger, asking Arnold for money to donate, and you got to listen to it all the way to the end, and you'll find Arnold. Arnold is at the end, so go to the end, and listen to Arnold. But it all happened. It actually happened. The one called UFOs. UFOs, and I think you get the gist of some things we've been touching on through a lot of podcasts, what I saw and what I encountered in my Jeep. All true. I've got witnesses to a lot of things I say. One happened recently, and we call that, you try and figure it out.
You explain it.
You explain it. My wife witnessed this. There's no explanation. It's supernatural in nature. I love having witnesses, and she got to witness this. Watch it. These things actually happen. And we may get to the house for October, talk about the things that have happened.
Yeah.
Like I said, if somebody wants to come in our house with their electronic things, it's $5,000. Because I'm not going to insult the entity that visited us in the house. And the entity
That's the magic number.
Well, the entity would not want me to not make a buck out
That's
of it.
right. That's exactly right.
So you're going to pay for that one. But what I said happened there actually happened with witnesses. We laugh, but it's true. All right, we want to kind of redo something to Praise and Coins, okay? And we can scratch that other one. I do appraise coins, and you can find me at my website, Jim Phillips, Alabama. You can contact me through email, and Philip will get it and forward it to me.
Yep.
And I talked about maybe giving my email address, but there's so much clutter there. You sure this doesn't bother you?
Nah, it doesn't bother me at all.
If it ever gets to bother, just give them my email
I
address.
hope it does get to be so much that it's bothering me.
Well, I give my give my phone number out. But remember Weird Wanda when I had the radio show?
I do, yes.
Hi. What do you do? And I don't want those.
No.
She never got to meet her, didn't want to meet her. Coins. Man, be careful out there. I was just telling Philip, too, gold and silver is not magnetic in jewelry or in coins. And I made a fool out of myself at the coin shop right up the road here. I got a friend in the coin business who's the doctor and all that, but he was out of town, and I'd bought his junk jewelry. I says, well, I think that's going to be 14 karat gold. And I couldn't read the inscription, so I went up there and said, I think this is gold. And I said I could use a little extra cash in it. I never even put a magnet to it. That's like me not.
You didn't follow your own advice.
I mean, it's the basic thing you do. And he put a magnet to it and picked it up. I was totally humiliated. So it's gold-plated jewelry. I was just talking to you about. I have this beautiful herringbone necklace. It's gorgeous, and it's heavy like gold. It says 18K something, like a Latin word. I said, it's got to mean it's coated. In
layered,
layered paint. It is. It's gorgeous. You can buy them from Amazon. I looked it up for like $25 with free shipping. I gave a lady $10 for this one. I'm gonna give.
So you still did all right on it.
Well, I'm gonna give it away as a gift to somebody. But it looks real. You wear it. You go over to Mountain Brook at a cocktail party and wear it, and people are gonna think, "Oh, Bertha has a $40,000 gold necklace." You'll fool them. Bullion Bertha with her gold. You got old coins. I want to see them. I do these talks, and I'm gonna say in Birmingham now, if over these podcasts, you want to book me, it's $150 to come do a 1-hour talk with free appraisals of pre-1920 coins, pre-1920 bottles, pre-1920 paper currency. I love old stuff. That's why I say that. Number two, I don't want to see your this clutter you're buying over television. These clad things that the U.S. Mint's selling, all this, and you think you bought it for $49.95, and they say that's 0.999% pure gold.
Right.
It's spray paint, folks. You're paying $49.95 this giant replica of something, and they spray paint it.
Yep.
There's not $10 of gold on it.
Yeah.
There's certainly not the gold value in what you pay. It's pretty. I'm not saying.
And if you love it, that kind of thing.
And you want to buy it for grandchildren, it's a great buy.
Yeah.
It's got value and merit for that reason, but it's not an investment in gold.
Right.
But when you got the announcer saying that's 0.999, they're nudging you towards that. Any idiot can see that. You buy it for the beauty and all, and it's worth it then, okay? They've been running commercials again they did last year. And they're 4:3 aspect ratio. They're so low. They're from the early 1990s. They go flash 6:38 a.m. Washington D.C. U.S. Mint. They've discovered bags of silver dollars they didn't know they had.
I've seen that.
Have you seen that?
I have.
That was aired in the 1990s. They started airing it a few months ago. Flash 6:38 Washington D.C. They've discovered.
And surprisingly, people will jump all over.
And they may have discovered them in 1989.
Maybe they were talking about they discovered the commercial in 1989.
Yeah, well, they've drugged the only thing is they discovered the commercial. They're airing that again.
Right.
Listen to what you're doing. I'm watching a fuzzy commercial that's not even widescreen HD, and they're saying they just discovered this in the morning, and that commercial is 30 years old.
Right, yeah.
Maybe 40 years old. So just watch what you do. They're going to sell you some silver dollars. Somewhere they got some silver dollars, but it's not going to be that discovery that was made in the 1990s.
Right.
Now, is that going to make any difference? I don't know.
Yeah.
But be careful with this stuff that's being marketed over TV. You really got to be careful. You need somebody that's in the coin business that's honest. I get more calls. I get compliments. And I said, when I praise coins, I sit down. And what do? I bring a blue book, which is supposed to be, it says in the back, this is what a honest coin dealer will give you for your coins. Well, coins have what kinds of value? Bullion and numismatic value. So you go in there, and right now, I can show it with a blue book, and it says a worn silver dollar is going to be worth $12 or $13.
Right.
Well, that would have been bullion value for when that blue book came out. The numismatic value might be $20 to a collector, okay? But now bullion value is going to be like $24 because silver's gone up. See how fast and how often silver fluctuates?
Right.
So when you buy a coin book, they got magazines, and I'm not going to mention the names, but you go to the bookstores, they got magazines, but they'll mention coins far more than what you need to pay for them. And they'll mention a very inflated retail price. I'll say in my opinion, this is in my opinion, but I think just about everybody I know out there would agree with me on this. They'll take a V nickel, a Liberty nickel that's 1905, a common date, and it's got wear on it. That's the normal nickel in the United States before the Buffalo nickels come in 1913. So we got V nickels. And the rare one is 1885, but let's take the 1905, moderate wear. you're going to sell that V-nickel maybe for 50 cents to $1, but you're going to have a coin book that's going to say it's worth a magazine $2.50 or $3. You're not going to get that for it.
Yeah.
But now you're going to a coin dealer, they may want $2.50 or $3. No problem with that. They got to make a profit.
Right.
You can come in and pick out the dates and the coins you want. You've got the ability to specify what you want in there and shop.
Right.
You're going to pay them a fee because they've got overhead. They
Yeah.
collect these. There's nothing dishonest going on there.
Right.
But if you go to an honest coin dealer to sell that V-nickel, you're probably going to get 50 cents.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with it. He or she asking $2 or $2.50 for
Right.
it, you see.
Right.
So you got to learn that. And but bullion values for gold and silver go up and down. Now, what makes rarity in a coin? Again, a coin's going to have numismatic value, and it's going to have bullion value. I told the story of buying after talking to some seniors, and I'll call him Henry, which I may have said before in a podcast. Maybe he had a different name. Jim, come to our house. I want you to show you some coins. Well, do you want me to praise them? Well, I'll sell them. I went down there, and boy, I was obnoxious. I said, I couldn't believe. Sound like an idiot going, I couldn't believe. I hear that over and over and go to the bathroom and barf when I hear that. Let me restate, I couldn't believe. So, dude, I couldn't believe all the coins he had. He had them in cardboard boxes everywhere. Silver dollars. He had half dollars, quarters, dimes, silver, all of them. Silver was way down then, folks. It was like $10.80
Wow.
a troy ounce. And a troy ounce is different than an ounce. You weigh gold and silver by troy ounce, okay?
Right.
And there's scales when you buy. I put it on troy ounce to weigh jewelry
Yeah.
and all that. So I went in, and he had a lot of worn silver dollars. At that time, I should have been giving him about $9, $8.75, $9 on silver dollars. And he says, just give me $6. I said, but it's worth more than that.
Mm-hmm.
The numismatic value on the Morgans was actually going to be like $12, $15.
Oh, wow.
The bullion value was only like $9.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, I'm just going to give you bullion. And he let me buy them for $6 each.
Wow.
Now, he had one silver dollar in there. It was a 1890 something. I know what it is. I don't go into it. It was rare.
Mm-hmm.
But I said it was sealed. It was in those plastic sleeves. Like you have binders, you open them
Yeah.
up. There's little sleeves to put coins in. Thick, clear plastic. It had oxidized with the silver dollar and formed a green crustacean on it, a green film. You buy a coin for the condition it's in. So I know it's silver, so I'm going to give him bullion value. So I give him the $6 he wants, which is a bargain right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell him, and you got a couple of coins in here, one in particular that's rare, and it may be worth more money. He says, Jeb, I don't care. We don't need the money. We're in poor health, and we don't have children. There was not inheritance involved, right?
Mm-hmm.
He meant that.
Yeah.
He meant that. Just give me the $6. Well, after I bought his, I gave him $3,000 something for his silver. And I got home, and that week silver started gradually going up. And I'm not making this up. Within a week, it started going up, and it went to $49 a troy ounce.
Oh, wow.
I was buying it when it was $10.80.
Yeah.
I started selling off when troy ounce. I could sell for $25, $26 a silver dollar, half that roughly for half dollars, $11, $12 for halves, $5 for quarters, making really good money. And
Yeah.
I held on to that oxidized green incrustated silver dollar. And my wealthy friend who's into coins, who's terribly honest and cares about the hungry and the needy, raises vegetables to give to the poor. Wonderful guy.
Mm-hmm.
Helps me out in all kinds of ways because he says, Jim's honest and I'm going to work and help Jim. He bought the coin for me.
Mm-hmm.
And the old couple had died. I think one got to mention, the other died. I kept the coin now for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And he said, God bless you. I hope you get rich on this. And don't even have to tell me. And my friend bought the coin, called me up, says, I'm going to work a miracle if I can. I'm going to dip it in chemicals. You never rub a rare coin.
Right.
Coins grade about good means you can barely read the date. Good. You can start seeing some detailed, very good, fine, very fine, extra fine, almost uncirculated means they'll fool you without a magnifying glass. You hold that coin up and don't put your fingers on them.
Mm-hmm.
If they look like they're uncirculated, that means not in people's pockets, not in their hands.
Right.
Don't hand them by the edge.
Yeah.
And you look up, if you get a magnifying glass on, you can see, a little wear here and there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, they're almost uncirculated. Now they get into uncirculated. That's called mint state, MS60, all the way up to MS70, which is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
There's where your money is, okay? So this silver dollar is dipped in chemicals. You don't rub it. And he takes all the incrustation off, and there it is, brilliantly uncirculated. He calls me up and he says, come by the house if you want, and I'm going to give you $350 more.
Wow.
I said, but it's your coin. And we had fun with this because he actually said it. He said, shut up, Jim. I'm trying to help you. And I said in the previous podcast, I loved it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what a friend.
Right.
I said, no. He said, oh, I'll take it to the coin expo and sell it. We'll split it.
Yeah.
But it's your coin. He says, shut up. So he called. I said, no, split it. And he calls me from the coin expo and says, I've been offered $13,500.
Whoa.
What do you want me to do? Find the podcast. I mentioned this briefly in another podcast,
yeah, you did.
and you'll see it's consistent. I said, sell it. But you got to take $1,000 out for spending a month dipping it. He says, I will. He called me up. He came back from the coin expo. He says, I decided to keep it, but come by the house. And I said, got to take some out for saving it.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I will. Come by and I'll give you $6,000. And he did.
Wow, that's awesome.
He told me to shut up again when I said, but it's your coin.
Shut up.
What was with that coin? The coin was minted in San Francisco. For that year, a silver dollar had a little S on it, on the back. Those were rare. They didn't mint many. Had it been minted in Washington, or Philadelphia, there's no mint mark, and that's common.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be worth 500 times more in mint from San Francisco than it would be in Philadelphia, okay? So you look at those mint marks. You can take a 1916 mercury dime in mint condition, and let's just say extra fine. And you can see the wear on it, but it's very little. Okay, if it's minted in Philadelphia, there's no mint mark on it, so it's going to be worth silver value now. Mm-hmm. Silver value now is going to be what, roughly $2 something like that for the silver content. But numismatic value, because it grades extra fine, coin collectors like to have that dime. You could probably sell it for $15. If there's a little D on it, oh man, you got to get hundreds of dollars.
Wow.
If it's in mint states, you're going to get a few thousand for it because that's Denver, baby. They didn't mint many in Denver in 1916 D. You can have an S for San Francisco mint mark, an O for New Orleans, a little O, a little D for Denver, D for Dahlonega, Georgia on gold coins.
Huh, really?
You got mint marks like that, okay? And you got to know your mint marks. So rarity in coins is determined by how many are out there. How many of that particular coin with that mint mark, with that amount of wear, are out there. And that goes back to how many were minted to begin with. Right?
So what determined how many would be minted at a particular...
They show you in the books.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You'll have a coin. Let me try to make... I should have brought my blue book. But let's say 1894 O Barber dime. Mm-hmm. And Mr. Barber, you asked once where the name come from.
Right.
We got a dairy. It was a milkman. That's a lie. Mr. Barber was the engraver that designed it. It's a pretty coin. 1894 O... New Orleans mint. If that's going to grade extra fine, they didn't mint many in New Orleans that year. So it's going to be worth some extra money. 1894 they minted maybe, not millions, maybe 200,000.
Right.
I'm making this up, but it's something low like that, okay? It's low, not in the millions. So in extra fine, the coin's going to be worth maybe $200, $150. In mint state, it's going to be worth, it could get up into thousands.
Right.
But worn and circulated, it's still a rare coin. Numismatic value might be $30, $25, $30, $35. Bullion value is going to be what, $2? Mm-hmm. You see? Mm-hmm. From the value today of silver. You're weighing the bullion value against numismatic. Now, if the coin is rare, determined by condition, the state it's in, and the mint mark on it, and how many were minted to begin with, the numismatic value will far exceed the bullion value.
Right.
And I sit down with people when I appraise coins, and I meet a lot of widows, and I will not meet them alone at home. And I tell them, I meet you at your church. I got a sign in, sign out. I want to meet you. Mm-hmm. I want to meet you at your bank, and you got to vouch for me, and we'll sit in a conference room. Yeah. And if I buy coins from you, I can't give you a lot of money because I ain't rich, but then you put that money in your bank account. Right. I've had to come back 3 and 4 times sometimes to buy people's coins. Yeah. I just didn't have that kind of cash. Right. And I felt good with that. So the good thing I can't buy all of them is, after I leave here and I bought a third of them, is you get to say, well, you get to think, Were we happy with that with Jim?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you say, well, come on back.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've never had anybody say, we don't want you to come back.
Right,
But I
right.
sit down and I show them how coins grade by photo grade in books. It shows the pictures. It'll take a coin, say, this is what it looks like in about good, which is horrible. I mean, you have to stare. Where's the date?
Yeah.
And then good, you can read the date, but look at all the wear.
Right.
And then very good. Oh, we're getting detail. And then it keeps going higher and higher, and they get to mint state 60, 61, 62, and they go all the way up to MS60, which is flawless.
Yeah.
So they show you how to grade, and then you go to your blue book, and the blue book is accurate on numismatic value. If they're real rare, you'll get that kind of money, maybe more, which is what the honest coin dealer wants to give you.
Right.
You got a coin worth $40,000. The silver dollar I had in the blue book, they actually put down the same or a little more than what it was going to sell for. But the bullion value at that time was probably $20 for the coin.
Right,
See?
right.
So, but the blue books, the bullion value varies. You can go right now to the bookstore and buy the blue books, called the blue book and the red book. Stay away from the red book.
Right.
That's kind of pipe dream, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. Blue book is what an honest coin dealer will give you. You look at the bullion value, what it says on, starts looking at coins that are silver. Find out where silver is. It could be more or less than what the blue book says. But in the numismatic value, you got to learn to interpret that. If it's a rare coin and that blue book gives you a numismatic value, it's probably pretty close to that, or at least 75% of that. I know I'm throwing out a lot of stuff. It gets involved. But if I sit with you at the table and put the books out, you can look at photo grade and see what I'm talking about.
Right.
Then I can go to the blue book and show you this. Then I can show you where silver is this day. I don't like buying gold.
Yeah.
The Chinese now, I'm being told, are faking. They're real gold coins, but they make them look like rare gold coins, and they're not. And I don't care that China's probably got a satellite flying over us right now. I'll say it again.
Right.
This is what the coin experts are telling me.
Yeah.
It can fool the best ones. I bought one. It was a gold coin, but it was counterfeited out of the Middle East.
Yeah.
It was not the rare gold coin it was, but it was a gold coin, so it did not have numismatic value.
Right.
There's counterfeits everywhere.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
And let's get, how much time we got? 22? I want to talk about the Sacagawea. I've said it so often I can say it now. Sacagawea, Sacagawea. Sacagawea dollars, folks. Everybody's got them. And we've done some podcasts where I pop into church, do a talk on lost treasures of Alabama. Then I praise coins. They're not gold. I talk about the guy. He was the nicest guy in Tuscaloosa. Shows up at the church with a little safe he brings. He's got a bag. I got a bag full of gold coins. And I start laughing. He says, they ain't gold, are they? I said, no. They're gold colored. They're Sacagawea dollars. Honoring Sacagawea, the Indian guide who are our pioneers? I'm going to blank.
Lewis and Clark.
Lewis and Clark. They explored the West, remember? Thomas Jefferson sent them out west to explore the West. So Lewis and Clark needed a guide, and they got this Indian girl we honor her with a coin called Sacagawea. They're not gold coins. And then you have those Susan Anthony dollars. Mm-hmm. They're not silver. Right. They're just dollars. And I say over and over, just spend those at the supermarket. And I say again, we're being redundant with these podcasts. Those are not silver pennies from 1943. They're steel.
Yeah.
All the pennies they minted in 1943 are steel, and they're worth a penny to 2 cents. Well, uncirculated.
Yeah.
They might be worth $1 or $2 if they've never been in people's pockets.
Right.
Now, they accidentally minted a few copper 1943 pennies by mistake when they started stamping them. Maybe 30, and they're worth a fortune. At the end of 1943, they're supposed to take out the steel planchets and put in copper for 1944. They accidentally got some steel planchets in and stamped them 1944. They're rare oddities, and they're worth a lot of money. There are some coins out there. There's a 1955. It's called double die obverse. It's been stamped twice. And Abraham Lincoln will have 2 images.
Oh, wow.
You can see the outline twice. In the 1955, there'll be 2 of them. It's like one and an offset of another one, 1955. Those are worth a lot of money. They're double die obverse. And you can find like a 1918 Buffalo nickel, double die obverse. 1918 will be stamped 20. If you get the blue book, though, it does list double obverse coins that are recognized. They're rares because of the mistake made on them.
Right.
They will guide you, and you've got something rare. I did that talk here at your senior center, senior center for this community.
Yeah.
And a girl wanted me to say coins, and she says, I have a silver 1943 penny. I says, well, they're steel.
Yeah.
And she says, well, actually, we were told by a guy that this is a very rare one. They're supposed to be steel, but it is a silver 1943. I called my friend.
Yeah.
I said, is there any such thing? I said, no way.
Yeah. Yeah.
What they've done is they've electrolysis, put a little silver coating on it.
I gotcha.
It's steel underneath.
Right.
They tried to pull that scam. So
Yeah.
anyway, okay, we're going 25 minutes already. You got me. You can reach me to appraise coins. I charge a little fee. It's negotiable if I don't buy. But if I buy, I'm going to sit down and train you as to what's what and how I'm appraising and stuff like that. So I can give you a lot of references because you will be treated fairly and honestly. Sometimes too honestly. I've given the widows that I thought needed money. I gave them more than what I could sell the things for. I said, Jim, could you give me 150 of that instead of 120? Oh, all right.
There you go.
Then I lost money. Okay, we're out of here.
All right, well, y'all visit JimPhillipsAlabama.com and you can reach out to him. That way you can donate, help him continue his mission here on finding cool stuff. Book him for a speaking engagement or just ask him questions. We will catch you on the next episode. Thanks for listening.
Gold, they just gotta have that gold, they'll do.
Thanks for listening to another episode. If you have questions for Jim Phillips or would like more information on his speaking availability, visit his website at JimPhillipsAlabama.com.